Hey everybody, welcome into Warp Factor 10, our show about all things Star Trek here on the Arena Productions. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley. Burley, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's great to be back doing Warp Factor 10, doing more Star Trek stuff. The first show of the year for our Star Trek stuff. So we're doing, of course, Picard, Season 3, Episode 1, our recap and discussion of Picard. So before we do that, let's go ahead and tell everybody about the spoilers, of course. This is going to be a spoiler recap and discussion of Picard Season 3, Episode 1. So if you have not watched the episode yet, like on Paramount Plus, please go and watch the episode and then come back and enjoy our recap and discussion video here on the Arena Productions. So yeah, with that said, that's your spoiler warning. So let's jump into it, Burley. So overall, Burley, I got to ask you, I mean, just right off the bat, what did you think of this episode compared to Picard Season 1 and Season 2?
Well, compared to Season 2, this was way, way better.
Yes.
This didn't frustrate me like Season 2 did.
Yeah.
Compared to Season 1, I have to really think because it's been a while.
It's been a while. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
but how about you?
I loved it. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there. There's some haters and people that, you know, weren't into it, but I loved it, man. I mean, it was almost like a movie in a sense. I mean, the music and all. We're going to get into it a little bit more as we go on, but I really, really enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and jump in. Of course, our first image here, good old Dr. Crusher. And boy, it's been like 20 years and she's broken up with Picard and the crew, and hasn't talked to him in that much time. And she's on this, I don't know, it kind of looked like some kind of a science vessel. I don't know. I don't know what kind of vessel it was really, but it looked Federation. I would say it's a Federation science vessel, but yeah, well, we won't find out till at least the next episode or later on in the season. Right. But then obviously, you know, the Easter eggs I really, really enjoyed at the beginning of this episode. You get the music, the compilation that we learn later that Picard had made for her during their time on the Enterprise D. And then, of course, the log that was being played from the first encounter with the Borg. I thought that was really interesting in the beginning because we didn't really know what that was being played for at the moment. But you see, you know, a lot of the mementos that she had from the Enterprise D, the masks. You see of course, her husband's, her dead husband's case from the Stargazer, you know, stuff like that. So I really like that stuff. I thought that was really cool. But then we get the boarding, and these alien creatures. I don't even know what race they are. So that's the interesting thing. We don't know who these aliens are yet. And they come shooting away, and obviously she gets hit. You know, but boy, she comes back and like she shoots that tube and sprays, you know, whatever kind of gas it was on one of them, and just then takes it out. And just when she shoots it with that laser, you know, rifle there, I mean, it just completely disintegrates them like into this red type of dust, you know. But I mean, yeah, she got wounded, but she was able to get out of it and just point blank took one of them out. So what did you think of the firefight scene here?
I think it was good. I think it was shot good. Yeah. It's just like you said, we don't know. We're just kind of dropped into this mystery here. Yeah. So it's just one of those things of I'm interested to see where this will go and what aliens, why are they coming aboard this ship? Like, I have so many questions, and unfortunately, because this is the opener for the season, we're gonna play this out for multiple episodes till we get the answers on this stuff.
Right, and before this firefight, she seals the door shut, and you see one of it looks like a crew member, but we'll be talking about that crew member later on in the episode. He's like screaming and, you know, pounding on the door. I'm like, why is she doing that? You know, it's like you'd think you would probably want some more help, you know, with these aliens boarding your ship and all. But but anyway, so then after being wounded, she sends an encrypted message encrypted codec to Picard, and then of course we get Picard at his chateau. And I mean, it's like you knew that they would start the season. His first scenes would be back at the winery, the Chateau Picard, and Laris there is with him, so she came back, obviously from the end of the second season. And but before that, it's funny, like he's looking at the picture of the Enterprise D on the wall, and he's like, he wants to give it to Geordi, because we find out that Geordi is now the head of the Federation, the museum, the Starfleet Museum, and so he wants to give it to him. And then Laris is like, don't you dare take that, to one of the assistants. Don't you take that down. But anyway, he's sitting there in the evening, and then he starts hearing his old Enterprise D communicator going off. What'd you think of this, Burley?
Yeah. So, like you said, it's no surprise you're gonna have him when we first see him in this episode. It's gonna be his chateau. That was so surprising. I do like that he's just got his old communicator. Yeah. And it hears it go off, and then he just he's frantically going with the computer, get connected in. I need to hear, connect. Yeah. And then once he hears the message and who it's from, you get his reactions. Right.
Yeah, and so then he has the conversation with Laris, and then Laris is basically like, you have to go, you have to help her, so, these are the lives we chose, unfortunately, because they, she wanted to take him off to a remote, kind of like a, resort planet or something like that, and watch the sunrise or the sunset, I think it was that she said, at this particular bar or whatever. But so he's like saying to her, I'll just be a few days, maybe less. And then she's like saying maybe more. So it's like she knows that it's not going to be a short ride. This is going to be another one of those long ones again, So we might not see her again until the end of the episode or the season. Yeah, go ahead, Burley. Yeah.
When is it ever a short little ride thing? It's Star Trek, especially since it's no longer one and done.
Right. But we might not see her again until the end of the season, So, yeah. So obviously he gets together with Riker. I think this is at Guinan's, like a kind of like 10 Forward, her new bar that we see at the end of season 2. But anyway, I just love this about this episode. Him and Picard and Riker together again, just going off on this new adventure. And what's cool about this is Riker was able to decrypt the message, because it was a message that was decrypted or encrypted, I should say, by Locutus. So we get that little name again, Locutus of Borg. And so when he was, of course, down and out, they had to decrypt the message, and it was like I think it was every digit was I think three extra digits were added to it or something like that. And so they were able to Riker was able to find the coordinates, and it was like right outside of Federation space. I forget the name of the system that it was, but it was right outside of Federation space. And so they had to figure out a way to get out there. And it's like, you knew like Riker had some kind of plan. So yeah, I love that scene. Yeah.
Oh, I love the whole meeting, just them meeting together and all that. And Jonathan Frakes, I must say, just steps back into that role so well. Oh yeah. Yeah, he does an awesome job back as Riker again. I love that.
Yeah. So obviously, they go to check out the Titan A, which it was kind of interesting. Yeah. They call it the Neo Constitution class. I'm kind of like, it's like, why does it have to be Constitution again? But anyway, so this is the retrofitted Titan that was commanded by Captain Riker, obviously, but now there's a new captain. And it's pretty cool how they get on board, and then they meet Seven, but she can't use that name anymore because of the new captain. So she's like Commander Annika Hansen, you know. So yeah, and she takes him, you know, to the bridge, and we get to meet Crash LaForge. What did you think of Geordi's daughter? I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. That, hey, Geordi's daughter, here she is. She's in Starfleet and all that. Yeah, no, it was a nice little surprise.
And I think that's one of the reasons why they call this episode The Next Generation, because, you know, obviously, you know, the Enterprise D, that, you know, and Picard and them, they were the next generation. Now we have another generation. Of course, Geordi's daughter, you know, and probably we're going to see more as the season goes on. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was funny, but you know, you get Geordi's daughter, and then you get, I think what's interesting is this kind of parallels to the first Next Generation film, Generations, because at the beginning of the film, you go on to the bridge, and of course Kirk and you know, Scotty and Chekhov, they meet Sulu's daughter, and Sulu's daughter is the helmsman, you know, or a helmswoman, you know, on the Enterprise B. So I thought this kind of had like that type of parallel to it. It was pretty cool. So yeah, and then we meet the captain, Captain Shaw, and
Captain Dick.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, man.
He's typical Captain Starfleet Captain Dick. Sorry, but it's just like this is one thing with Star Trek where they just really they always got to have a Dick Captain Admiral, but there's nothing different from him from the 15 other that you've seen from any other Star Trek show or movie.
Okay, but let me ask you, from what we've seen, just of the short amount of scenes that we've seen of Captain Shaw, who do you hate more, Captain Shaw or Captain Jellicoe, who is played by Ronnie Cox?
Obviously, Captain Jellicoe.
Yeah.
But give it time. You know, next episode he is going to be chasing after.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say.
Well, I mean, and him, you know, having the guts to bring up, you know, former Borg, you know, and everything, that was pretty low, you know. And then of course the quarters that he puts him in, you know, he's like at the, you know, as he's walking out after eating, and he comes in and eats early, you know, like a jerk, you know, and then you know, makes fun of Picard's Chateau wine bottle, makes fun of Riker's, you know, jazz, love of jazz, and then obviously, you know, as he's leaving, you know, it's like you know, the quarters, you know, that we had to put together for you at the very last minute, and obviously it's not really quarters, they're just bunk beds for cadets, it seems.
Yeah.
So that they're sleeping on. But yeah, I love.
Well, he's got to do with his title. He's Captain Dick.
Yeah, and he makes it clear too. You know, because Picard made the mistake though. He made the slip of saying Deep Space 4. Yeah. You know, if he would have said Deep Space 11, then they might have got away with it. But then when he said Deep Space 4, and then he was like, "Well, Deep Space 4, you know, was shut down over a year ago." You know, it's like, you know, well, request denied. You know, it's like, I'm an actual officer. You know, you're a captain. Riker, you're a captain without a chair. Picard, you're an admiral, retired admiral. Congratulations on that. You know, and he's like, you know, I take orders from those that have a much higher pay grade than any of us here, which is interesting because I thought in the 25th century there is no money. So
it's supposed to be like, because that's the whole appeal of Star Trek,
right?
Utopian society, no money and all that. Like
exactly,
we fixed everything,
right? So maybe it's just a figure of speech that he was using. But anyway, but you know, Commander Hansen, or I'm just gonna keep calling her Seven because that's who she really is. You know, awesome 7 of 9. She knows something's going on, and then she confronts Picard, you know, and says, "What the hell is going on here? You know, tell me what's going on, or I'm going to throw you guys out the airlock." You know, I thought that was pretty cool. And then she helps them, obviously, and then gets the shuttlecraft, and they take off in the shuttlecraft, and then Shaw comes up to the bridge because, of course, they're in the nebula at that point, at the coordinates, and he's like, you've just lost your career, basically, and I want a full report on this and all. So we'll see what happens, but yeah.
Well, now that's just setting it up just so she can leave this ship and join Picard.
Yeah. But yeah, I like she also Seven also references Admiral Janeway, so Janeway, it's like it was because of Picard and Janeway that she ultimately decided to join Starfleet. And it's interesting in this episode, the conflict. You have this conflict with Seven, and then obviously we have the conflict with Raffi. So we get Raffi in this episode as well, and it seems like she's doing undercover work, trying to find out about this one particular piece of technology which is being weaponized now, that was stolen from the Daystrom Institute. And so she's on this she's on the planet in District 6, and it kind of was very cyberpunkish in a way, I thought. And she's trying to get information, and obviously she used to be a junkie, and so she's trying to act like she's still a junkie, a drug addict and stuff like that. And she's able to get some information about this Red Lady. I think it was Red Lady. But she couldn't get much more of that. And so she goes back to her ship. And that looks like the ship that was in season 2. That I guess, was left over for her. But she was trying to get in touch with the intelligence officer, and obviously they wouldn't do a face-to-face. That was denied, and so she was just talking to a bunch of text chat. And it was interesting how she was trying to basically say, you don't know what it's like to live in this world. And then the AI or whatever, or the person, yes, I do. And it just shows like her whole bio, and like she had been court-martialed or something like that, but then finally she's like, find the Red Lady, there's an attack imminent, because basically this weapon is kind of like a in the game Portal. I don't know if any of you have played the video game Portal, but kind of like a Portal type of weapon. It's supposed to be some kind of quantum tunnel type of weapon. And boy, oh boy, was it used, because when she goes to District 7 and when she finds out who the Red Woman is, basically it's a statue of Rachel Garrett, who of course was the captain of the Enterprise C. And if any of you know, it's one of my favorite episodes of all time on The Next Generation. Of course, yesterday's Enterprise is one of the best episodes ever. Of course, they come and meet the crew of the Enterprise C, and obviously Rachel Garrett is the captain. So that is the statue that had been dedicated at District 7. Raffi gets there too late. What did you think of those scenes, Burley, when that quantum tunnel weapon was discharged?
That was very interesting, but just one quick thing, we land in this because season 3, it's like it takes 6 months, 6 months or something after the ending we were in season 2, because it's so interesting to see where Raffi is and 7 and 9 are. So I'm interested to see if we're going to get a flashback in the next episode or 2, just to kind of explain how we got here.
But what did you think of that weapon going off, man? Boy, oh boy. It's it looks like that recruitment facility just sinks into the ground, but then after it sinks into the ground, the whole structure just floats there, or just comes right out of the sky again. The hole opens up and it just crashes down.
Yeah, that took me by surprise. I was like, ooh, this is neat.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be interesting to see what goes on with this later in the season. who's doing this exactly and all that.
Yeah. So now let's get to, obviously, Picard and Riker get, they're in the nebula and they get to, Beverly's, vessel. And it's so funny. Right before they're about to board, they're just talking about their geriatrics and stuff, Oh, it's like my hand. Oh, the adrenaline rush. And then Riker's talking about his knees, being shot. And it's like, if we don't have to do anything, we'll be fine. I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, they get on board and they start looking through the ship and they see all the damage and they see the firefight and all. And so then Picard goes to the bridge. And as he goes to the bridge, obviously there's a man behind Riker who, takes him kind of like as a prisoner and all. But and obviously Picard finds obviously Beverly had been put in like a medical capsule or something like that, sedated and all. But we find out when this person gets to the bridge, obviously he says that he's Beverly's son, and that's interesting because where that's going. I mean, he's probably Picard's son, most likely.
They could do Picard. They could do some other twists. Yeah. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
I knew they were gonna say, "I'm her son." Like you saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah. But what's interesting is, of course, they've been apart for 20 years or so, right? And but the actor that's playing the character, the character's name is Jack, of course, which is named after, Beverly's, husband that died on the Stargazer, who was a crew member with Picard. In real life, the actor is like 35, but yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I just think that's where they're going. I don't know for sure. We don't know for sure, but I mean, I just have a feeling it's going to end up that's like Picard's son, because obviously throughout all of the Next Generation and all of the Next Generation films and all, the focus on Picard has been, well, like he doesn't have a family anymore. Obviously his brother died in a fire, so his family line can't go on. And now of course he's with Laris now, but they don't have children or anything. So I mean, they're probably going to make it out to be like, if this is the final season, so boom, he had a son with Beverly, and there's going to be some kind of conflict towards the end, because it's like, who does Picard end up with, Beverly or Laris? You're
probably right. This is Star Trek Picard, so they will do this.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, we're probably going to see Geordi in the next episode, and then we're probably going to get Worf as well. And then of course they're obviously going to revive Beverly. So we'll find out a little bit more, because it's interesting. Riker was asking Picard, it's like, why did she shut us out? Why did she just go away? So there's a lot of questions unanswered here. So
did you have a drunken one-night stand with her, Picard?
Probably we shall see. Yeah. And then the question of the relationship between Seven and Raffi too. I mean, how did that break up? Yeah. So
are they broken up, or are they just on two different, like they're just too far into their careers right now for a certain mission? Like, who knows? We got a lot of this season opener gives a lot of questions, and it's just going to be interesting how long through the season are they going to reveal this stuff.
Right. But pretty cool Easter eggs in this episode too, Burley. We get the flute that's on Picard's desk. That was from one of the great episodes of The Next Generation, where Picard lives like a whole lifetime on this planet and learns how to play the flute and everything. And then obviously he wakes up and only like less than 24 hours had passed, where he'd lived like almost an entire lifetime on the planet. So that was the flute that he had from that time. And obviously the Beverly's husband's, case, that was interesting. I love the episode, and I love the ending too, because they were playing music from First Contact at the end during the credits. and all.
Oh,
and then from the original series or the original movies, the ending score. I thought that was really cool as well. So yeah, great episode and a great start to the final season. Hopefully it continues this way. Burley, final thoughts.
I would say a good opener. I have some small little problems with it, just because like it's put so much questions and can't just give a few answers.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for a little more answers in it, but this is way better than a lot of season 2, so it's got me excited because I'm at least happy we didn't go in and just because they titled the episode The Next Generation, we didn't get the whole next gen cast in just the episode, and they gave us a few of the cast and slowly sprinkling them in. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was also interesting too. Riker saying at the beginning when he gets together with Picard that Deanna and his daughter will probably enjoy some time without me. you know, so yeah, maybe what's going on there, who knows, but yeah, we shall see. So yeah, exciting stuff, man. So we're looking forward to bringing you more recap and discussion episodes as each episode drops here on Warp Factor 10, our show here on the Arena Productions. And also we have a Patreon, and this episode will go ad-free to our Patreon. So be sure to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thearena_podcast. So anyway, I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley. And we hope to catch you next week for our episode 2 recap and review. So until then, take care, everyone. Live long and prosper. Peace.
Live long and prosper, everyone.
Out.